Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah. So it's that time of week again. It's our usual Friday night live, and as always, I'm running a couple of minutes late, but I'm here. I'm here, so no need to panic. Yeah. I hope everyone's keeping well. Hope everyone's good with you. Hope life's treating you well. So Graham, as always, the man is in the house. Hope you're keeping well, man. Let me just post this out on Facebook as well, and then we've got a couple of posts out. Okay. So yeah, so we're back to trying TikTok live again. So let's see who comes in for a chat over there. So the format of this is, we're gonna to have a bit of gardening chat, give you a bit of a catch up about the stuff that we've been getting up to, hear from you guys, and answer some of your questions as well. So let's see. Ali, assalamu alaikum warahmatullah. When to sow tomatoes? I normally sow mine in February. So probably about the second week of February, that's when I go for mine. I like to go for early sowings. A lot of people complain about sowing tomatoes this early. A lot of the a lot of the TV growers, they'll grow in sort of March time. But I like to go a little bit earlier because that just gives me a good chance to get those plants up and ready, and I can get harvest around May time. So we've got a few people over on TikTok. I can't see the chat over there. Let's see who's coming in. How do we get the chat up? No, I don't want to end it, but let's see. Oh, I've got 5 people over there, but we've got a few people over on YouTube. So Icky, Michael, Alan, Paul, Moz, how are you doing? How's everyone? Hope everyone's good. So hope you're well. I'm glad to finally been able to catch you live. Michael, I'm glad you made it. Yeah. So yeah, this is the format of our chat. I don't have anything specific planned, so you guys just fire away with your questions, and I'll give you a rundown of the stuff that's been happening in our lives. Alan, how are you doing? I got your message about the seeds. I'm glad they got there safely. I didn't put loads of chilies in after your warning, but yeah, there should be some seeds there for you to have a bit of a play with and enjoy. So Hassan Ali, wa alaikum assalam. How's the log burner getting on? It's getting on absolutely awesome, really good. I'll be honest with you, it's the thing that's really helped us this year. With the energy costs and everything, it's something that's kept our house warm all the way through, and we're not in a way where we're not in a situation where we're having to just ration the heating. Why council tax in Leeds going up? Council tax in Leeds is going up because of Labour, well, mainly because of the Conservative underfunding and Labour poor management. But there you go. So let's go. I bought a rhubarb from Wilco. It was just solid wood. Is it dead or would it still grow? It might still grow. No roots on the rhubarb, just a solid chunk of wood. The thing, there's a couple of things that you can do. You can give it a little scratch and see if it's still, if it's not completely wood or if it's actually got some juice in there. But either way, I'd still give it a pot it up. I pot it up into a little container and keep it give it a good water. There's a chance rhubarb is pretty indestructible. Even when it dries out, it can still come back. So if you've got the root, you've got nothing to lose. Just pot it up and see what happens. It might not do well this year. Next year it might do better for you. My Komodo dragon just popped through the soil and lemon drop, fantastic. So yeah, my Margie lemons have come up. My red naga have come up. My fastest seeds to germinate were yellow orange habanero. I planted them, and within about 4 days they shot straight out the soil, and that's absolutely, I think that's a record for me in terms of speed of germination. What else has grown? So we've got loads of green chilies. We've got lots of Dano Morris. So we've got two types of Dano Morris this time. We've got black Dano Morris and the white Dano Morris that we grew last year. What else have we got? We've got the yellow Naga, red Naga. We've got no Dorset Naga this year. We've got what is it? Trinidad Moruga. We've got Carolina Reapers. We've got them all this year. We've got a good amount of seeds going. All is good, mate, and sown fantastic. Are you happy with what I sent you? Were they good? It's called Canadian Red Rhubarb. Okay. Am I still using a hotbed in my greenhouse? This year, I'm going to start my hotbed a little bit later instead of trying to overwinter stuff in my greenhouse. And this year I've gone for a completely blank canvas. A few reasons is because I haven't let the greenhouse just rest over winter for a few years. And this is the year that I thought that I'm just going to let it completely have a rest and completely, give it a blank canvas, dig it over, add some nutrition to the soil, because one of the things that can happen in greenhouses is because it's combined environments and they're not getting that exposure to the rain and they're not getting that exposure to the sun and the winds and all the other weather conditions, disease can build up. And that's the thing that's why I want to give it a blank canvas. So I've kept the doors open a lot during the winter so I can get frosts in there to kill off some of the pests. So that was my idea. So have I ever cleaned my flue yet? I haven't cleaned my flue yet. But I was thinking about getting myself a flue kit and then giving it a go myself. Because a flue kit will cost anywhere between £40 and £60. Maybe if you go for a fancy one, you might pay £100. But to get someone out to clean it will cost you £40–50 just for one go. So the flue kit will pay itself back within the first session or first time using it. So I was thinking of getting myself a cleaner, but 2 months into it, 3 months into it, it's not due a clean yet. Let's see what other questions we got. Graham is Moz tried to change up. Sean, 10 minutes and you're not said to hit the like. Yeah, guys, if you haven't hit that like, make sure you're hitting that like as well. Tedman, are you a local councillor? I'm not a local councillor. I am standing for council. I stood last year and I'll be standing again this year. I just want to try and shake things up a bit, just try and make a bit of an improvement in our local area and see what we can do. But just try and make a bit of a difference, see what happens. Makes a big difference in the airflow. It will. I just bought that kit and cleaned it with my dad. How long had you had how long between your cleans did you have? Because I've only had my log burner about 2.5 months, something like that. So good. Evening from Diane down West Country. Hope everyone's okay. How's your polytunnel going? Hope you're well as well. Pi is coming with a massive super chat there. Really appreciate that. Thank you very much. Very kind of you. Wish you well for you. And you too as well. Thanks. We're gonna have a busy weekend this weekend because we're having a tree cutting party this weekend. Graham's coming, Moz is coming down, and they're gonna come in and they're gonna help me shape my tree. So I've got this massive sycamore at the bottom of the garden. You might have seen it in some of my videos, but it's quite big and it casts a massive shadow. and I don't want to get rid of it because it's a beautiful tree, but we just want to get it under a little bit of control. So the lads are coming to come and do the job. I found another recruit as well, guys. So someone, one of the local imams, he's going to come over and join in and help cut this tree down, or give it a good trimming. You're going to try snowball melon this year, Icky. Snowball melon. I've got some gala melons that I'm trying this year. So I think you'd make a fantastic Ted, man. Appreciate that. Yeah, I really appreciate that. Yeah, hopefully we'll get something. Yeah, hopefully we can make a difference this time. That's Graham's job to tell people to hit the like. Goran, how are you? Thanks very much for coming in. Hope you're keeping well. I'm so glad you remembered framework updates, not putting cover on until second week of Feb. See, yeah, the thing is, I need a bit of a reminder sometimes. I talk to a lot of people and I get a lot of people mixed up, but and I'm getting old as well. Someone, you know, I put a video on TikTok today, right, of me chopping a log, and someone commented, "Oh, I'm surprised. You know, I wish I'm struggling to do it. It's amazing that you can do it at your age." I'm like, "What are you on about at my age? I'm not that old. There's still life in the old dog yet." We've had it for 5 years and just recently got it blocked. Was definitely overdue. Oh, see, I've only had mine a couple of months, so 2.5 months, maybe 3 months, that sort of range. So I don't think what I'll do is probably towards the end of February I'll give it a clean and see how that works. Rabs, wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. Thanks very much for coming in. Hope you're keeping well. So as far as I know, once a year clean. So Graham, that's what some people say, once a year clean, and a couple of people have said, you know, do one at the start of the season and one mid-season. So I don't know if there's some more experienced people with wood stoves on here. You might be able to tell me. I didn't know you were on TikTok. I'm on everything at the moment. So TikTok, Insta, YouTube, Facebook. What I'm even on Snapchat. I don't understand the point of Snapchat, but I'm on there. Yeah, I really don't understand the point of Snapchat. It's that app that really just doesn't make sense to me, but I'm on there. But yeah, we stopped the TikTok lives for a bit because we were getting a lot of trolls and not a lot of people coming in. But we're back to doing the TikTok lives and YouTube lives at the same time, and we'll see how TikTok goes. And if it doesn't pan out, we'll stop it again. So Karen, how are you doing? Thanks very much for coming in. Fat boy in a tree. That's going to be me. That, yeah, absolutely. Many hands, mate. Yeah. See, absolutely. I'm a proper old man now. Someone said, yeah. So it depends on how long you're burning it. If every day, all day, should clean it every 6 months. So at the moment, we're burning ours pretty much every day, and the fire's on when it's cold. Like today, it's been on all day, and because one of the main things for me is that fire gets to keep, you know, my mum warm, and yeah, it's something that is absolutely really made a difference to us. I have two A4 sized heat mats on a tray sand over the top, but they have no temperature gauge. It says they come to 20 Fahrenheit. Do I leave them on until the G seeds of completely? Until the G seeds? What does G seeds mean? Until the seeds completely come up, germinate and come up. So if you've got no temperature gauge on them and they come up to 20 Fahrenheit, 20 Fahrenheit is quite low. Do you mean 20 Celsius? Because Fahrenheit is quite low for a heat mat. But let's assume the Celsius for a second. What I'd do is I'd leave them on. So if you've got 2 heat mats, I'd leave them on, get your seeds germinating. And as soon as the majority of the seeds have germinated, then 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 I'd potentially switch them off, and majority of seeds in a pot. This is what I'm doing. So as soon as the majority of the seeds in a pot have germinated, then I'm taking it out of that heat mat and I'm putting it under the grow lights. So Salika wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. Carry on chopping, don't let the haters get you down. Jazakallah khair. So yeah, we get a lot of people. I want to be fair, it's not loads, but we do get the odd person on TikTok. It's quite toxic on TikTok. Some of the comments, because it's still quite young and it's still quite maturing. You know, you get a lot of people offering life advice, offering all sorts of stuff, but they'll come and destroy your life's work with one comment. That's the sort of attitude that they tend to have. But yeah, so we snap back. Yeah, that's what it is. So we love it. Free wood, free heat. Where are you getting your wood from? How many rakat is in witr prayer? Please tell me. 3. There's a gardening chat, but if you want to ask me fiqh questions, I can answer you those as well. 3 according to the Hanafis. Yeah. But so Goran, judging from frames of the glasses, you must be at least 65 years old. See, I tried going a bit retro with these glasses. What do you think? Oh well, I will chop down any hate comments if I see them. Jazakallah. See, I saw you go after that one guy. Yeah, I really like that. We need a few more people who'll bite back with me. So the point of Snapchat is not gardening, really. What's the point? I don't understand the point of Snapchat. I'm on there, but I just don't understand it. It's just one of those. It's just surplus to purpose. It's like, what would you do with it? There's loads of other stuff that you can get loads of stuff on there. So yeah. So my Bujalokia seeds have germinated with 4 leaves at the same time. I've never heard of that. I've never heard of that. They always germinate. For me, all my seeds have germinated. All my chili seeds have always germinated with 2 seeds, 2 leaves. So Michael, what is the point of Snapchat then? What have I missed there? Have I missed something? Or I've got you on top chat rather than full chat, so I'm missing your comments. So once a mod, always a mod. I think we're gonna have to sort that out as well. Let's see. How do we do this? No, that's not the right button. What do we do? Let's see. Just 1 second. Let me see. There you go. And now block accounts, mute accounts. Yeah, there you go. There you go. I've added you as I've given you another job. So notorious big wa alaikum assalam. I think I missed you there. So Shajad wants to have a fiqh argument. Witr is 135. Witr, an odd number is 135, and as many odd numbers as you want to go up. But you asked me how many rakat in witr namaz. So if you're asking me a question like that, I'm going to give you the answer. But yeah, I know you weren't asking, but I think you do a good job. So there you go. Phil, how are you doing, man? Thanks very much for coming in. It's been a while since you've been able to catch you live and come in and have a chat. It's Diane. I'm visually impaired, so I talk to X. So I do this. Do I leave the seedlings on there? It seems to be very hot. See, 20 Fahrenheit is quite cold. I'm sure that's probably Celsius. Now, if it's Celsius, then 20 degrees is about a good temperature to get a lot of your chilies and tomatoes and that sort of seedlings going. It's a little bit hot for if you're trying to sow onions or if you're trying to sow brassicas. It's a little bit hot for that. 15 degrees would be fine for that. When did you study Alimia program? Where did I? So I finished in Bradford, so JKN. So brother, people after Mazhab, I don't know what you're asking. Lots of error on Mazhab. Okay. I don't want to get into that discussion right now. You can have that discussion another time, but this is not that discussion, guys. But yeah, I studied in Bradford JKN. Can I use clear plastic cups to transfer my seed? Yeah, absolutely. Clear plastic cups. What I've started using is, we use a lot of paper cups. So, when the kids have their friends around and stuff like that. So we save the paper cups and we transfer the seedling into there. And then at the end of it, we just compost that. What sector am I? You're a mukallid. Absolutely, I'm a mukallid. Yeah, without a doubt. I'm not sure if you're trying to say that as an insult, but without a doubt, absolutely. What sector? What the? Yeah. I'm the green-fingered sect. Yeah. Am I interested in buying a car? Am I Brelevi? No. No, I'm not. But there's some odd questions coming over on TikTok. Just relax, guys. Yeah. So Graham, this is the second live I've taken part in. What's the spanner next to his name? So the spanner, the spanners are moderators, so he's my enforcer. Sorry, it says growing 20 Fahrenheit above room temperature. So do I leave them on there? Matt seems to get really hot. I'd leave them on there until your seeds have germinated. But if you've got another thermometer, just check the soil temperature. If you've got a soil probe, or one of those old-fashioned under the tongue type thermometers, the really thin ones, I'd get one of those and just check the soil temperature, see what they are. Around 18 to 20 degrees is best for most, like the heat-loving plants. 15 sort of degrees is plenty warm enough for your brassicas, plenty warm enough for your onions. Yeah, all of that sort of stuff. So this is a Q&A gardening stream. So I'm not sure who that shall I kick that guy out? He's causing a bit of trouble. So if you wouldn't mind just kicking him out, that'd be good. So let's see. There you go. Michael Graham's a spanner because he's got a nut loose. That might be true as well. I once wore a still chainsaw hat around the village. A woman said to her partner, "What's a still?" He said, because he said, what is still? He said it's because he's a tool. Oh, there you go. No, not Mustafa. The other one, the other guy who's causing a bit of trouble, who likes to argue. Not Mustafa. I'm talking across two chats, so if I'm missing comments or if I'm catching up with comments, then that's why. So you're gonna have to excuse that a little bit. I guess I'm coming home with loads of paper cups then tomorrow, when it. So Graham and Moz are coming over to do my tree tomorrow, for those of you who don't know. And Ali, you wanted to know about when we're doing this tree. So we're having this tree party tomorrow. So if you wanna join, what does mukallid mean? Non-denominational. No, غير mukallid would be non-denominational. Non-denominational. Mukallid is a follower. So I'm a Hanafi, for simple, yeah. But let's get back to the chat. So yeah. So this weekend is going to be, Saturday is going to be busy with the tree. Probably Sunday I'm going to be carrying on cleaning that up. But I want to get my red greenhouse. Yeah, I want to get my red greenhouse completely ready for growing. Who asked about the hotbeds earlier? Someone asked about hotbeds earlier. So towards the end of February, early March, I'm going to get the hotbed set up again in the Gred greenhouse. And what I want to do is I want to have the hotbed ready for me to transfer all my seedlings over quite early on, because this year we're going to have a lot more than normal. We've got a little bit more gardening space because we've got the garden, little additional bit of garden from where the chicken house used to be. So we've got that. Yeah, so the hotbed's going to go, everything's going to, we're not going to be able to keep as much stuff in the house. So everything's going to go straight from the house into the greenhouse. Yeah, so I think early March is when I'm going to get it done. And we'll go for a full on manure and wood chip hotbed and get it really kicking. Can I come and do the tree thingy? If you can get on a boat for overnight, the boys are coming tomorrow. Rizwan, wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. Good to see you. I want to buy some tomato seeds, but what variety will be very productive? Could you recommend one? What type of tomato do you like? Now, if I was you and I was growing tomatoes, are you growing in? First thing I'd ask is, are you growing in containers? Are you growing in the ground? Have you got a lot of space or a little bit of space? Because there's the smaller varieties of tomatoes, like Gardener's Delight is a very reliable one. It's a very good cropper. It's perfect for in the ground or in containers, can do in the greenhouse or outside as well. So that's a good all-rounder. It's not the tastiest of tomatoes though, but so that you lose on that side. Sweet Million is my absolute favorite cherry tomato. It's so productive, and yeah, the tomatoes are, they're a cherry tomato and they really are sweet. They really do taste good. Sun Gold is a really good one, and Honeycomb is another really good one. So Sun Gold is a really it's a yellow tomato, very very sweet. Honeycomb has the same flavor, but they tend not to split as much. So Honeycomb might be one that people are switching to, because Sun Gold can split. San Marzano are really good juicing, and plum tomato. So they're really good for sauces and cooking and stuff like that. And the beefsteak tomatoes, Marmande, absolutely awesome. But Marmande isn't a fantastic producer. It's not amazing at that. So what's your favorite part of gardening? So favorite part of gardening has got to be getting the plants growing. Do you know, I'm not a big harvester, but I am a big gardener, you know, big grower. So I do like getting my seeds planted, like nurturing them and getting them into the ground and watch them produce. But I'm not great at harvesting stuff. And if it wasn't for my mum picking a lot of the produce, I'll be, yeah, if it wasn't for my mum picking a lot of the produce, then I'd be letting a lot of it spoil, to be honest with you. What, I don't know what's wrong with that person there. Yeah, I don't know what you're trying to say, whoever you are. Willow Grove, how are you doing? Thanks very much for coming in. Rizwan by Purple Heartthrob. See, I love these names. You know, they come out some really, really funky names sometimes. I'm behind on my chilies, but we have late frost here. Sowing onions and chilies this weekend. Excited to get dirty again. Phil, I know that feeling. I feel late on my stuff as well. Yeah, I feel quite late. I feel quite late as well. Some of my red naga I need to get sown. Do you know that these are the ones that I use a lot for my pickles. I need to get those sown as well pretty soon. Do I grow red spinach? Do you mean lalsag? Lalsag is amaranth, so it's not exactly spinach, but yeah, we do grow a lot of amaranth. It grows good in the greenhouse. It grows well in the greenhouse, but it really grows well in containers as well. So if you look at my what to sow in this January video, I've got those little black containers, and what I do with the amaranth in there is around April, May time, we'll just go all out and sow loads in those little black boxes and just cover them with sort of plastic to get them warmed up and germinated. And then, yeah, they do quite well. So some comments in this live were filtered to protect the community's experience. So I'm probably getting some quite funky comments on there. Okay, that's fine. See, that's what I mean about TikTok. It's still quite toxic on there. A lot of immature. So Hush Puppy's asking, your wood burner, does it only heat the room or the whole house? So the way I should do a video on the whole wood burner and how I've got it set up, but I've got it set up so my chimney runs through the middle of my house, so it heats downstairs really hot. It heats my bedroom and it heats the attic as well because of the chimney. But it keeps downstairs hot, it keeps upstairs warm, and it keeps the attic, chill free. So it's definitely a massive improvement. Where are we gone? So do I need any of the inoculation or special visa? Alan, I think we'd let you in if you could get in. Please, could you do a video on when you do that this year? Michael, oh, do you mean the hotbed? Yeah, absolutely, I will. Absolutely, I'll go. Yeah. So just bought tomato seeds, pink Berkeley tie-dye Brad at Atomic. And I thought I'd do a black cherry along with a crimson crush, not doing them until March there. That Brad Atomic sounds awesome. That sounds pretty good. I'm gonna have to have a Google of that. Let's see if I can pick that comment up. Let's have a Google and see what that looks like. Oh, they are nice. Do you know what? I've done my seed order, but do you know what? When you put in things like that, you end up distracting me. So let's see. Hi from Huddersfield, living in London. Had allotment here 3 years. Now your videos have been so helpful. I'm really glad they're helping. I really appreciate that. Do you need a chimney to install that? So I've got a separate chimney. I took my brick chimney out, and we've got this pipe. It's like a pipe that runs through the center of the house. I'm going to be growing anything interesting this year. So I don't know what kind of plants you like growing, but I grow a lot of the same stuff. But I always experiment with a few different types of chili varieties. There's a few new chilies that I'm trying this year. Onza is one of them. It's a black chili. It's not an extremely hot pepper, but it falls under the hot pepper categories. It's probably about 100,000 Scoville. Alan, I think I sent you some of those seeds. So it's not blow your head off kind of heat, but it's got some kind of kick to it. Let's see. So I haven't bought any seeds this year. So what do you like to grow? Phil loves Sweet Million. Do you know those black Berkeley tie-dye? They look well nice. They're a nice beefy tomato as well. Adam, how are you doing? Thanks very much for coming in. Hope you're keeping well. The weather has put a stop on most of my jobs on the plot. Onions have germinated. Well, got my fingers crossed for a dry weekend to get things done. See, it's going to be quite warm this weekend. Well, it's not going to be warm. It's going to be sunny and it's going to be dry. So there should be a lot of jobs that we can get done this weekend. My plan is to be meeting up. So we've got Graham and Moz coming over to sort my tree out. Yeah. Oh, Sweet Million, more seeds to buy then. Good dog, how are you doing, mate? Long time no see. Hope you're keeping well. Glad you made it in. every year my parent grows hodu gas. It grows very big, but only 1 or 2 hodus. What compost is good. So I use my own homemade compost. I use a lot of compost that I've made from at home. If you look on YouTube, I've got a nice playlist on growing just sort of hodus and mainly Bangla hodu, growing zinga, sisinga, these kind of vegetables. With your compost, it wants to be, your pot needs to be big. Remember, a bottle gourd's roots can go down up to about 2 feet quite comfortably. They can spread a couple of feet wide as well. The containers I tend to grow them in, do you know the old dustbins? So the big plastic dustbins, those kind of things. I use them to grow it in, and over winter I'll fill it with kitchen scraps and line the bottom with wood chip, and then fill it with kitchen scraps. So about a foot depth of kitchen scraps, and then I'll put my compost over the top of that in spring, and then I'll plant it into that, and then I've got a lovely base for them to grow into. Black Russian are really nice tomatoes. Black Russian are a very nice purple color. Yeah, I like that. Clint Little, how are you doing? Thank you very much for coming in. I think I'll grow less tomatoes and eggplant instead in Atlanta, USA. See, I like growing aubergines. There's one variety that I really recommend if you can get the seeds for it. It's called Purple King. Or I'm sure it's called Purple King or Purple Tiger. Yeah, Purple King, I'm sure it is. But if you have a look at one of my videos from about September time, we were harvesting baskets full of, you know, finger thick, really long aubergines. Absolutely amazing. Really, really productive. But with your hodugas, another suggestion there is to make sure you're cutting. Remember, gourds, they grow on the secondary and tertiary growth. So if you've got big long vines, you need to nip the ends off them, and then once they send the side shoots out, that's the growth that normally you get your hodus growing on. What's your best as slug repellent and how do you control them? So with slugs, nematodes are probably the best. You can't beat nematodes. Free tip to make nematodes for absolutely free without having to go and buy a packet for 20 quid or whatever it is. Just collect loads of slugs. Go around your garden, collect loads and loads of slugs, right? Without a doubt, you're going to end up with an infected slug. The way to tell if a slug is infected is normally at the back of a slug is going to have a blister on it, and it's normally a dark brown or a different kind of coloured to the rest of its body blister. Now you take those and you chuck them in a bucket of water and make a slug soup, and then just use that slug soup and just, you know, spray over your garden, and just use that. You're going to get nematodes. You're going to get these nematodes just killing the slugs for you. Other than that, if you've got chickens or if you've got ducks, let them into your garden. But the problem with them is they destroy everything else as well. Yeah. So let's see who we've got. So I always like doing lots of tomatoes and garlic, and then squash and courgettes. Basics but good. Yeah, I like the basics. There's, you know, stick to the basics. You always stick to what's good and what you like. That's the sort of thing. That's pretty much my philosophy. For all out something that I've never tried before, or something that are really experimental, or stuff that we don't eat. Like there's loads of kales and stuff that I just can't bring into my diet enough. It's good for you, but I just can't find a way to bring it in as well. It's something that I need to do, just for health more than anything else. But I remember one of the first years that we started gardening was I planted loads of sorrel, thinking that, yeah, I can grow sorrel under the big sycamore tree, and you know, it's going to grow in a really shady space, and it'll do well. But once you've got a sorrel into your garden, it's just going to grow everywhere. You know, it's going to spread seeds and grow everywhere. And we did that with that. And that first year we grew loads of beetroot. And I like beetroot. I like pickled beetroot for my packed lunches, but not as much as I grew in my first year. I grew absolutely loads, thinking I needed loads, and then we ended up just wasting so much in that first year. But I'm talking what, nearly 12 years ago now. So let's see. I've learnt my lessons from then. So what? Let's go back here. Let's get back to I grow amaranth as an ornamental, but never harvested the grains. See, we for Bangladeshis, most of the time we use the leaves, not necessarily the grains. I know a lot of South Americans use the grains. They use the grains a lot more in India, but for Bangladeshis, for most of us, it's the leaves that we use. So, Invit Wada, how are you doing? Thank you. What I'm sure I've mangled your name, and I apologize for that. Four varieties of chilling growing for me this year, although some are getting leggy, even though they're under grow lights. Now, get your grow lights lower down. If they're getting leggy and they're under under grow lights, get your grow lights a lot lower down, a lot closer to the plant. How strong are your grow lights? And when your plants are just germinating and they need to get growing for early on, they need a lot more red light. So Benandine Fell, how are you doing? Thank you very much for coming in and watching here. Have you ever considered getting an allotment, or do you prefer the backyard gardening? I, with my lifestyle, an allotment wouldn't suit, because I really struggle for time. I'm really time poor. I work during the day and then I teach in the evenings. So my day shift is pretty much 9 till 11 in the evening every day. And then the only time I get some time off is weekends, or when it's quiet at work. I work for myself, so I can take some time off. But I'll take an hour off in the morning or an hour off in the afternoon, or finish an hour early, something like that. So I need to be not traveling. If I have to travel to an allotment, just because of the amount of time that I'll waste doing that, I just won't do it. So that's why I stick to using my backyard. And the other thing is, if I go to an allotment, then everyone's not going to go with me, and then I'm going to miss the kids, and I'm going to miss my wife, and I'm going to miss my mum. When I'm at home, I like to be around them. You know, we like I like them to see what I'm doing, and I like telling them off as well when they're doing stuff. Yeah, it's all part of family life, isn't it? With all those seeds ideas you're making me buy, this chat is getting expensive. Phil, that's the thing, man. I think that's the problem. See, that Berkeley tie dye's really got me tempted. It's really got me tempted. Have you ever kept quails? I haven't ever kept quails. I don't know what I'd do with them. Yeah, I know. I know eating quail eggs are quite posh, but I don't know if I'm that posh to be eating quail eggs. Do you freeze a lot of veg that you've grown so they don't go to waste? Yeah, so we freeze, we dry, and you know, like a lot of hodus, we're still eating fresh hodus, or pumpkins and squash from last summer. Uh, as long as they're mature, they'll easily store for about 6-8 months quite comfortably. So we've still got a lot of veg from that time. So quails are noisy. Do you know what? There's someone up the road who's got a peacock. If anyone's on my TikTok, you'll see me. I've seen him twice now. This guy just struts about the road. You know, like he owns the place. He's just crossing the road casually the other day. We're coming back from getting the kids home from school, and there's this peacock walking across the road. I'm like, hey, what's going on here? I want one of them now. So if anyone knows where I can get a peacock, then that's the next target. can you grow drumsticks, moringa in the UK? You can grow moringa. It'll do fine in the summer. The problem you're going to have is overwintering it, and not so much with the temperatures, but more so much with the light levels. So overwintering it's going to be the problem. So if you've got it in a container and you overwinter it in a greenhouse or something, then I think it'd be okay. I'd want to do that, but I can't get the plant. So if you know where to get the plant, I want to have a go. Just seeing your clip with Marcus Waring. What program is that from? Is it on your YouTube? So it was a program from last year called Tales from the Kitchen Garden. I think I can't remember what episode it was, but yeah, he did a series and asked us to go down and help him. Yeah, I've seen the peacock. Yeah, see, it's like I want a peacock now. They're awesome. They're absolutely awesome. I've not seen the guy with his full tail hanging out, but or spread out, but I'd love a peacock. And the thing that I'm surprised about is there's loads of foxes around here, and that guy's just walking around the streets. You know, like he owns the place. Is it wondering what Mutton considers old? I'm 63 and my daughter. Alan, I didn't say that's old, man. I'm saying someone on TikTok's calling me old. Yeah. So Tony's here. Tony, how are you doing, mate? Thanks very much for coming in. I hope you're keeping good. I got my first greenhouse, needs glazing. Anyone recommend alternatives like acrylic or Corex? Corex, I think, is that what you is that your word for polycarbonate? See, I really like twin wall polycarbonate. Now, if you can afford it, glass is obviously the best, and that's what I'd go for. If my red greenhouse, that's made from recycled timber, so it's made out of my neighbor's roof. It's made out of bits of my roof, but it's all polycarbonate, twin wall. It lets enough light in, and it's warmer because it's got that little bit of insulation. But things tend to grow better in my glass greenhouse when they're younger. Yeah, so getting things off to an earlier start is easier in my glass greenhouse than it is in my red greenhouse. So light levels, with glass, you're probably getting about 90 to 95% of light coming through. With Corex, you probably get, or twin wall polycarbonate, you're probably getting about 85% to 80 to 85%, that sort of range. It's still enough, but you need to have it in a I wouldn't say have it in a sunny spot, but have it in a spot that gets enough sun. But that's going to be your other problem with it being insulated. It will get hot very quickly, so you'll need to have adequate ventilation in there. Better to place them on a raft of lettuce leaves first to infect the others. And there's Tony dropping in his comment. See, Tony, you must have been in here for ages. I've been talking about nematodes ages ago. So let's see. So wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. Thanks very much for coming in. Let's see. I was wanted. See, who's that saying that? Hush puppy. Yeah, this is my goal this is sort of my 5-year goal. Actually, you've just hit it there. So within the next 5 years, I want to be on a small holding. I'm just trying to get my ducks in a row at the minute. Get a little bit saved up, and then we're going to be, inshallah, we're going to be on a little farm. See, you're saying, so Salika, you're saying you're a city girl and won't last 5 minutes. That's what the kids are. Well, my son says he don't want to move out. My daughter says she doesn't want to move to a farm because she's going to miss her school, friends at school. And what I say is, look, what I said is, I'll get you a horse or I'll get you a pony if you're comfortable with me moving on to a farm. So scroll up. I left you a question. Scroll up. Which way? Eh? I've scrolled up as much as I can and I can't see a question. See, I just can't get beetroot to germinate for some reason. See, Graham, I had that problem last year. I had that problem last year. I've never had it before, but last year was a problem. So does Mum make a lot of tomato chutney? No, she doesn't actually. But we eat a lot of them. Well, I eat a lot of them raw. So do you know, a lot of the cherry tomatoes. Um, I won't eat supermarket tomatoes raw unless they're cooked. But a lot of what do you call it? The cherry tomatoes. I'll just walk around the garden just munching them. The kids are doing that as well. So a lot of them don't make it into the house, but we use them a lot in salads, or we use them a lot in, you know, when we're cooking bolognese and stuff like that. We'll make it with fresh tomatoes rather than tin stuff. Please add your YouTube link and your website info in your bio. It will help people find your info more easily, inshallah. That's a good idea. Inshallah, I'll do that after this chat. Yeah, so I'll do that. Yeah, I will. I'll do that after this chat. Let's see. Let me catch up on a few comments. Use kale and other greens for sag, but it doesn't taste right, man. It doesn't taste right. We have to mix it in moderation, but it doesn't taste right. I don't mind cabbage. Yeah, I can eat cabbage. Yeah, but kale is just. See, that first year we started gardening, my sister was like, "Oh, kale's a superfood. You gotta grow loads of kale." And I grew loads of curly kale, and I grew loads of Black Russian was good. Black Russian was good. Black Russian kale or Tuscan kale was quite good. But I grew a lot of scarlet kale and grew a lot of curly kale, and they grew massive plants. But they just tasted like I was eating grass. So yeah. Alaikum salam. Love your videos. You're the only TikToker I refuse to troll. Mashallah. I don't know if that's a backhanded compliment there. You're the only guy I don't troll. That's got to be that's got to be a serious compliment. I like that. Thank you. Jazakallah. Um, um, where are we? Sure, the neighbours will love the peacock. Peacocks aren't that bad. Guinea fowl are the bad ones. Yeah. Can you get moringa seeds? You can get moringa seeds online. I grew them a few years ago. How did you get on with them? Go and get one from Temple Newsom Farm. I'll drive you down, and you can decide on what you're going to do with it. Someone's asked me to join. Someone's asking to join my live. No, thank you. Uh, um, how comes you have peacocks walking around the road? Never seen. See, do you know you're saying that, and how comes I was just asking the same question, right? There's a peacock just walks around the street, thinks he owns the place, and watching that guy, I'm thinking I want a peacock now. Yeah. Maybe you need a peahen if you get a peacock. I think we could all have a full family of peacocks and peahens. Yeah, I'd like that. If you want to laugh, look at YouTube videos of peacocks. Oh, don't tell me that. I've just got rid of a nasty rooster. We don't need we don't need another guy who's gonna terrorize us. I worked at a restaurant terrace, met peacocks. They poop non-stop. Any guest requests yet? Yeah, we get quite a few guest requests, so I keep chucking them out. That's good. Hopefully together we can defeat his trolls. Inshallah, inshallah. Jazakallah. Your Noor doesn't let me troll you, subhanallah. I don't know. Okay. I'm listening, but in work and need to get something to eat, so you can message me. I'll answer when I'm back. Um, my dad had a small holding just outside Bristol called Dundry. We had ducks, chickens, a donkey, a massive vegetable plot, and a mean massive horses. Gave it up in 1982. Had it from 1978. Oh, do you know? I'm really dreaming of that day because what I want, I don't want just a small holding. Now, I had this idea, and I'm still looking for the right group of people. So, if anyone's interested, we could do this, right? Do you know a small holding will cost about £500,000 for about less than 10 acres of land? Now, if we, if 10 of us can get together, we can buy a 50, 100 acre plot of land for close to £1 million. So we're getting that same, we're getting 100 acres, we're getting 10 acres each for 100 grand um, rather than 500,000. Obviously, you're gonna have to build your house and get planning permission and all of that sort of stuff. So we're gonna have to have battles with local authorities. But I've got this plan. If I can find the right group of people to do it with me, then inshallah, within the next few years, that's the aim. Um, so yeah, I really want to do that. If I can find the right group of people, there's a vision because you can build a community. You can build a community how you want to live. You've got your own space. You've got your own everything. And if you different people are specializing in different things, you can look after each other. Yeah, I'm gonna once I find the right group of people, is I'm gonna go ahead. If not, if it doesn't happen, then within the next 5 years, it's gonna be a small holding for me. What kind of tomatoes do you recommend starting now? I'd wait a few weeks, just a couple more weeks, and then I'd go all out with them. Um, what's a good cherry tomato for hanging basket? I've never grown a fan of cherry tomatoes. See, Gardener's Delight are good in a hanging basket. You can get some if you type in Tumbling Tom. Most of them will do all right in a thingy, um, in a hanging basket. I think I've caught up with the chat. Have I? Our small holding was on the edge of a council estate that was next to Dundry, and it was behind a crescent, and the present was from 1 to number 99, so I don't know how big it was. See, yeah. See, you had it in a warm part of the country as well. I don't want to stray too far away because my sisters are all in Leeds, so I don't. I'd want to stay within sort of an hour of Leeds. I've looked at sort of Bradford, where it's a little bit cheaper, and I've looked at sort of Lancashire, the border of Lancashire and Yorkshire, that side. But maybe it'll happen. It'll happen. But guys, that's it. We've hit that hour mark. Even though I started a little bit late, I'm sure I'll get a bit of forgiveness for that. But we've hit that hour mark. So on that note, I'm going to call it a night. Thanks everyone for coming in and having a chat with us. And we're going to be. Have I just caught something about Tony? If you're out on strike, give me a shout. I want to join the picket lines as well. So there you go. Big up to any of the striking workers at the moment. Power to the people. Absolutely. All power to all the people all the time. And on that note, I'm going to call it a night. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.